When learning to draw with the pen tool, it's important to understand where to aim and how far to drag. I'll put a link to this exercise file in the description of this video, but I'm going to double click to open it up in Illustrator. I can choose View, Fit Artboard in Window to see the whole document, but we're going to start with Artboard 1. Holding down the Option key on Mac or Alt key on Windows will let me zoom in dynamically. And holding down Spacebar temporarily switches me to the hand tool so I can click and drag to move my screen around no matter what tool I'm on. In this exercise, the squares at the bottom are where you aim your anchors. So I'm going to start by hitting the letter P to jump to the pen tool. It's important to note that quick clicks build lines. So if I were to click here and click here, I'd make a line connecting the square to the circle. I don't want to do that, so I will hit undo twice, Command Z or Control Z. I'm going to click and drag. Clicking and dragging sets up a curve. So when I click and hold and drag up, I'm aiming about 25% above the height of the curve. I don't want to go double above. That would be too deep of an arc. I'll aim for the center of this circle and let go. And then when I let go, if I were to click quickly here, I get a flat curve on the right side. I set up the left side to have a deep arc. To finish the top of this curve, I click and hold and drag down, and if I get it perfect, the little round direction handle ends up in the center of that red circle. To stop the connecting of the path, I'll hit the letter P again, and it doesn't show me that next line symbol, or what would be next if I clicked. And to note here, in the Layers panel, I have a hidden layer which shows me how I estimated how far above the arc of the curve to drag. If I turn on this guide, if you split this into quarters, and I'll change my fill color to none so you can see it. There are 4 quarters to this, and I aimed another quarter above for where my handles should land. So I'll hold down Spacebar, click and drag up, and we'll try curve number 2. I'm still on the pen tool. The star indicates I'm starting a path. I'll move to the center of the red circle, click and drag up, remember estimating a quarter above the arc of the curve. Let go, move to the right, click and drag and hold down. It may not be perfect, but it's best in Illustrator to get a skeleton of the shape done. Don't aim for perfection every time, or you'll just take forever to create your paths. So I let go here, move to the next red circle, click and drag up, let go, next red circle, click and drag down, and you don't even need my exercise to try this on your own. You can replicate this in a blank document. So I let go just here, move to the right, aim for the center, click and drag up, and to finish it, I've let go, I'm moving to the right, click and drag down. So I let go whenever it fills in or fits into place. Again, I'll hit the letter P to stop the connecting of the path. And I'm going to go to View, Fit Artboard in Window, or you could hit Command 0 on the Mac, Control 0 on Windows, and I'll hold down Alt or Option on my keyboard and use my mouse wheel to zoom into this next curve. Spacebar will let me click and drag over to bring curve number 3 into view. Now this one's trickier. When I start the same as I did curve 1 and curve 2. I click and drag up, aiming 20% above or 25%, a quarter above the arc of the curve. Let go, move to the center, click and drag down. But since my last action was to drag down, the next curve wants to go down again. So this won't work as it is. I'll undo, Command Z or Control Z, and that is an excellent habit. Never use delete in the middle of drawing a path because the delete key will break your path. It won't connect one segment to the next segment. Undo is your best friend in Illustrator. So you can travel up and do Edit Undo if you'd like, if you're a menu person. Or, I always remember, Zut alors, French for oh shoot, Control Z or Command Z. So what I want to do is I need this handle that's dropping down to go up again so I can tell Illustrator the curve arcs up and up again. So I'm going to look for an upside down V when I get the tip of my pen on the anchor. When I see this upside down V, again I hold down Alt or Option. That's the symbol you're seeing on screen right now. Holding down Alt or Option lets me click and drag up to give this curve another handle going up. I let go of my mouse first, then let go of Alt or Option. Move to the right, click and drag down, and without even letting go, I can freeze the curve by holding down Alt or Option. I'm still holding down my mouse, and I swing the handle going back up. Let go of my mouse, then Alt or Option. Move to the right, click and drag down, Alt or Option to freeze it, swing up, let go, move to the right, click and drag down, hold down Alt or Option to swing up, let go, and do my last curve, click and drag down. And you may have noticed I was hair off on this one. That's okay. I'm going to hit the letter A for arrow. Hitting the letter A jumps me to the direct selection tool or the arrow tool. I can click this anchor point and see both handles. One belongs to the left side of the curve, so that one's okay. This one belongs to the right side of the curve, so I can move it over and up a hair until it fits in place. That's why it's so important to get the skeleton of the shape drawn before you attempt to clean it up. Don't aim for perfection. It is technically a disorder, I think. Aim for good enough and then fine-tune it when you're done. I'm going to hold down spacebar and click and drag up to bring curve number 4 into view. And this one starts out with a flat line. So with the pen tool, I hit P for pen, click once, and if I want to keep it perfectly straight, I hold down Shift and click again. But it probably would land pretty straight without the Shift key. Just a side note. Now, because there's no curve to freeze on the left side, I can simply look for the upside down V, which is technically Convert Anchor Point. The Convert Anchor Point tool changes a corner to a curve or a curve to a corner. So when I see that V for Convert, I'm going to click and drag up, again, a quarter above the arc of the curve, let go, click and drag down, let go. And if I left that handle, I couldn't go to a flat line. So I'll look for the upside down V to convert that to a corner. Click once, it drops off the handle, then I can move to the right and click again. I could have used Shift if I want to be careful, but it did a pretty straight line anyway. I look for the V, click and hold, give this another handle going up because it's a high arc. Let go, move to the right, click and drag down, let go. Look for the V, click once to drop off the handle, and I will hold down Shift and click again, and my last step is the letter P for pen to stop the connecting of the paths. If anything needs to be tuned up, I hit the direct selection tool, which is A on your keyboard for arrow, and I click the anchors and adjust my handles. I hope you've enjoyed this video. There is no substitute for practice when it comes to the pen tool, so draw or trace as much as you can, and you'll learn how far up above the arc of the curve to drag the pen and when to let go.